Alright, let's get into it. From that rather explosive start, you've probably guessed what's on the operating table today. It's this beautiful, but very broken, Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMG. And yes, your surgeon for this procedure is me, the guy who obsesses over every single detail, but has also been known to stick a logo on crooked from time to time. Nobody's perfect, right? Before we dive in, let's take a quick look at the real car's specs. This special edition from 2008 packed a monstrous 6.0-liter twin-turbo V12 engine. It produced 670 horsepower and 1,000 Newton-meters of torque. Paired with an AMG speed-shift transmission, it could hit 60 miles per hour in just 3.6 seconds, with a top speed of nearly 200 miles per hour. Of course, both the torque and top speed were electronically limited, meaning this beast had even more power locked away. With the car completely disassembled, it's time for the messy part. I'm applying a chemical paint stripping gel to the main body shell. The solvents in the gel break down the paint's polymer structure, causing the old finish to soften, bubble up, and peel right off. With the old paint gone, I can address something that's been bothering me. These solid, blocky grills. They just don't look realistic enough for my taste. So my plan is to carefully cut out these marked sections and replace them with something much more detailed and realistic. Of course, we'll get to the specifics of that modification a little later on. After finishing the body modifications, it's time for paint. I've chosen this gorgeous two-stage candy green for the shell. And just so you know, even though they didn't show it, I've already completed the entire priming and sanding process, which is critical for a flawless finish. After the final coat is completely dry, you can see the surface isn't perfect. We've got a classic case of orange peel texture. This is absolutely not up to my standards, so I'll have to meticulously wet sand and polish the entire surface to achieve that perfect mirror-like finish. This orange peel effect is usually caused by the paint solvent evaporating too quickly, or something we call dry spray during the painting process. To put it simply, dry spray is when the paint mist is already partially dry before it even hits the surface of the model. This can happen for a lot of reasons. Spraying from too far away, at the wrong angle, in a room that's too hot, or applying a coat that's too thin. Basically, orange peel is the result of a less than ideal application technique. Luckily, the fix is straightforward. Besides repainting the whole thing, I can just do what I'm doing now, a very careful, detailed polishing job. Now besides that vibrant green, I'm using black paint for all the fine details, the door frames, window trim, panel lines, and the engine components. It's all about creating contrast. Oh, and of course, I have to apply a reflective silver paint inside the headlight and taillight housings to make them look realistic. And with that, the main body shell is pretty much done. Now it's time to tackle the interior. And according to the first rule of, well, Knops my shop, everything starts with a deep clean. These old interior parts are absolutely filthy. After cleaning, I noticed a problem. The front left wheel mount on the chassis is bent out of shape, but thankfully, the frame is made of a thermoplastic material. That means I can gently heat it with a heat gun until it softens, and then carefully bend it back into perfect alignment. Next, I'll give the chassis a coat of black paint, and then it's time for one of my signature touches, adding a realistic, soft-touch flocking to the floorboards and other parts of the interior, just like the real car. You'll notice this time I'm using a much shorter fiber for the flocking. Compared to the longer fibers I've used on past projects, these short ones give a much more accurate, to-scale appearance. After all, everything is relative to scale. Think about it. A 10-centimeter tumor is a huge deal for a human, but for a blue whale, it's basically just a pimple. Fun fact, this is actually why blue whales and other massive animals rarely get cancer. It's all relative. Anyway, back to the model. I've painted the front and rear seats in their respective colors and am now installing them onto the chassis, but just painting them isn't enough. These seats are missing a very important feature, the seat belts. As a dedicated modeler, I've 3D printed a ton of extra parts. I just need to find the right style of buckle, paint it, and install it with the fabric belt to complete the look. Here's a cool detail. That pedal on the far left isn't a clutch, it's a parking brake pedal, or a foot brake. You don't see these very often anymore in this age of electronic parking brakes. The advantage of a foot brake like this, compared to a traditional handbrake, is that it frees up a lot more storage and operational space in the center console. Next, I've finished detailing the center console and dashboard assembly. Once that's installed, the main interior work is complete. I didn't go for any crazy modifications this time, but I made sure every single detail was perfect. Now I'm taking a sheet of plastic mesh and spraying it with black paint. I'm sure you can guess what this is for. It's going to be fixed to the front of the car to create that awesome see-through intake grille. I'm using a special UV-activated glue to hold it in place, which cures instantly under this light. Then I can install the blacked-out grille logo, the polished headlight lenses, and of course, the license plate. And just like that, the front end is done. Next up, the doors. The main components here are the 2 door handles, the 2 side mirrors, and the interior door panels. As for the door windows and the front and rear windshields, they didn't show the process, but based on my previous work, you can bet I custom cut and fitted each one of those myself. The engine assembly, thankfully, didn't have any major issues. It just needed a bit of detailed painting before being installed. Honestly, I think this is the first time I've worked on a model engine that actually met my standards without needing heavy modification or a complete rebuild. You know, one of the signature features of these AMG models is the hand-built engine. They practice a one-man, one-engine philosophy. From assembly to final tuning, the entire process is handled by a single engineer, whose name is then immortalized on this signature plaque right on top of the engine cover. Now, some of you might be wondering, compared to a highly automated assembly line, isn't building by hand more prone to errors? Well, even though we call it hand-built, the process is actually a combination of standardized procedures, semi-automated assistance, and strict human quality control. High-performance engines like this one have far more detail, stricter tolerances, and more fine-tuning steps that just aren't well suited for a fully mechanized assembly line. Of course, neither method is inherently better or worse, but there's no denying that the romance of a hand-built engine always sells for a premium. Finally, I can install the 4 fully assembled wheels. And with that, this once-abandoned die-cast model of a Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMG hardtop is officially restored. Now let's follow the camera and take a look back at the before and after comparison. And that's it for this restoration video. Thank you all for watching. From my workshop to you, thanks again for visiting my little corner of the world. Goodbye.